My name is Sarita Deonarain, and with me is Jackie Bissonnette from the Greater Essex County District School Board Psychology Department.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us.
We're here with another podcast to help families through this really challenging time that we're all experiencing as a result of COVID-19. On this episode, we're going to talk about student engagement and motivation, and offer some tips to parents and caregivers to support the learning that's taking place at home right now.
I think that some parents might be struggling with the fact that students are now engaging in online learning and wondering how they can best support them. And the things that we're going to talk about today are also going to support student engagement when schools are back in session.
That's exactly right. The article that we're referencing today is from the National Association of School Psychologists and is from their Helping Handout series. It's linked on our website at publicboard.ca, but we want to use this time to discuss and highlight some of the ideas presented in this article.
So what is student engagement? Give me a refresher.
Okay, let's get into it. Student engagement simply refers to a student's involvement in and commitment to all of the things that happen at school. This includes academics and social activities. Research has shown that student engagement is related to better academic achievement, peer relationships, and emotional well-being. There are different types of engagement. First, we want to consider how a student thinks or feels about school. This is called emotional engagement.
How would we know if a student is emotionally engaged?
Well, if a student is engaged in this way, then we would expect that they like their teachers, classmates, and school, and they might show this through positive comments or actions. The other type of engagement is a mix of two, cognitive and behavioral. This type of engagement reflects a student's desire and willingness to do their best, including paying attention, following rules, and completing work. When a student is cognitively and behaviorally engaged, they work hard. They demonstrate very few challenging problems and are involved in more than just academics around the school, such as extracurricular activities.
And you also mentioned motivation when we started talking, which is closely related to engagement and is influenced by many of the same things.
Yes, that's right. Students can be motivated but not engaged due to factors like strong emotions that get in the way or limited skills in certain areas. In general, when a student is motivated or wanting to do their best and reach their goals, they are also engaged.
Okay, but a lot of what you mentioned involves students at school, like becoming involved in extracurricular activities and getting along with classmates. Does this still fly now when students are not in schools and they're working from home?
Absolutely. Engagement is not just about being connected with the people and activities at school. It's also about being engaged in learning, and that can happen anywhere. The authors of this article we're referencing give 15 recommendations for caregivers, but we're going to highlight just a few that are most important at this time, and we'll let you read the others in the article on our website.
Let's do it.
Well, the first thing I want to point out is that caregivers need to take good care of themselves in order to take good care of others. In this stressful time, we need to realize how our behavior is impacted by everything surrounded COVID-19, as well as how our children's behavior is impacted. So I just want to make sure that everyone listening knows that we as adults can be good role models for physical and mental well-being.
If we can model good mental health and well-being for our children, then it's much easier to model these behaviors that are related to engagement and motivation.
Well said. We can really be strong influences on our kids. One of the first recommendations actually has to do with parenting style. The authors recommend taking an authoritative approach.
Right. An authoritative approach is a balance between being warm, caring, and responsive to your child's needs, but also having clear expectations for their behavior and academics.
Yes, this type of authoritative approach shows your engagement in your child's well-being and success. It's about helping your child feel connected, accepted, and confident. Caregivers should take the time to ask their children about what happened during their day and how they felt about it, and provide support and guidance when necessary if there is a conflict with a peer or when schoolwork is too hard.
And it's also about having routines, rules, and expectation. Here's an example of how an authoritative approach might work. Parents and caregivers should work to create a specific time and specific place for their children to complete schoolwork, whether that's reading or math or researching another interesting topic. But they might also consider allowing them to use technology to connect with their friends and classmates during that time so they can get some help or learn together. In that way, caregivers are also taking care of their child's social and emotional needs.
Great example. Another way to support engagement is to focus on effort rather than ability. This means that caregivers and educators should adopt a growth mindset, helping students understand that they can improve their skills with effort and persistence. A fixed mindset, which we don't want to promote, encourages people to think that they either have it or they don't, and that hard work won't help to improve their performance.
Right. A growth mindset is all about trying and trying again and using challenge as a springboard for success. We might also have caregivers and educators encourage their children or students to measure their growth and improvements by looking back at where they have been rather than by looking at a grade or how others are doing.
Exactly. There is a time and place for grades, but focus should be placed on how much we have improved specific skills or how much new information we have learned. That's true for children and ourselves. Setting realistic goals and then measuring progress towards those goals is also a good strategy.
Both short-term and long-term goals are important, right?
Absolutely, they are. It can be a real challenge to stay motivated if your goal is several years away. So right now, we want to encourage caregivers to help their children make daily goals, like sitting down to do their schoolwork or reading a chapter of a book, but also to make weekly goals, like reading a certain number of books or a certain number of chapters in a book. And for those longer term goals that might be months away, make sure you review your progress on a weekly basis to help keep that goal in sight.
That's a great idea. The article has a few other suggestions, so we encourage you to read it through.
And if you're struggling to keep your child engaged in learning or in the type of learning that's taking place right now, please contact your child's teacher.
Visit our website at publicboard.ca to read the full article.
And to sum up, this is a difficult time for all of us. Do the best you can. Be kind to yourself, be kind to your kids, and thank you for listening.